Duke Robillard, and you're logging on to guitar.com. Hope you enjoy it, and I'd like to invite you to check out my new album, Explorer, on the Shawnee label with the Duke Robillard Band. Well, as far as anything working on at home right now, that's more in the sense of songwriting and production. So it really doesn't encompass kind of new avenues of guitar playing for me, right now. But I've kind of gone back to a lot of my original inspirations in guitar playing, although many of the things I do just still encompass all the different styles of play. But the jazz, the bluesy or jazzy blues style of people like Bill Jennings and Billy Butler still remain maybe the most important influence on my playing. There's a swinging blues style, basically, which would be something like basically playing around very simple blues type chord progressions, playing the sharpen the one chord and playing off 13th chords and flatting the 6th, making a sharp 5. Everything I'm playing is based off of those type of chords, and putting the diminished in there. And of course, the 2-5 change rather than the 5-4 change is a big part of what I do. And in any jazzy style playing, I'm always using 2-5 changes instead of 5-4 at the end of the verse, because there's a lot more you can play. Like it's a way to be, a lot more jazzy, playing on the, say, in key B flat, C minor 7 to an F7, instead of just playing your F7 down to an E flat 7, where you kind of stuck doing pentatonic stuff. It opens it up a lot more to be melodic.
The stuff that you were just doing is somewhat similar to some of the comping you were doing behind the sax solo in Jumpin' with Duke off the new album, to me.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Yeah.
Can you show us how a person would learn to comp on that kind of style? Well, some of which you just told us, but maybe
the basis of that is having the sound in your head, and you really have to listen to the old records to really hear what the whole rhythm section is playing. One thing is that instead of only playing 7th chords or major chords, you may play a 6 or a major 6 chord for the 1, and then you play the 4, and then this would be an E diminished going back to the B flat 6. So. Again, sharpening the 1 with a 13, going back to a B flat 13 to a B flat sharp 5, leading to the E flat 9, and then putting a G diminished from the 4 So it's all these little closed voice chords that connect very well and work around the bass line. I'll play an example of it. Some of the type of chords that would be on your basic jump blues or swing blues, putting in a 3-6-2-5 change, using the major 6 on the 1, and then playing the diminished lean back to the 1 on the 4 chord, and then using 13s and sharp 5s, which the sharp 5 is, instead of B flat sharp 5, instead of using a more drastic moving the whole chord down, there's less movement here, but you still get that feeling of flowing into the next chord. And using minor 7s, and then a 3-6-2-5. That's an example of, my way of playing, swing style, jazz, jump blues.
You say you got men lined up at your door.
The absolute best example I think there is of that is listening to Count Basie play blues. Count Basie band with Freddie Green, because they use that old style chording and just play blues really melodically. And Basie states everything very simply, so it's easy to hear. And if you get a good recording where Freddie Green is really audible because he's just playing acoustic 4/4 guitar, you can hear that connection, the harmonization with the bass. One thing, if Freddie Green were playing it, he might play a lot more changes or just inversions of chords per bar. There's so many different ways to connect them. And all the greatest jazz players, in my opinion, are great blues players. All the guys that play with the Basie and Ellington bands. For guitarists, people like Kenny Burrell and Herb Ellis and Barney Kessel, and of course Charlie Christian and Tiny Grimes, going back further, Bill Jennings and Billy Butler. These are all guitarists from the 30s through the 50s that really played very melodically, but had a really strong blues feel, and the chording was easy to follow. Not something that was so devastatingly complicated that you had to take a lesson to be able to figure it out. Some of them, like somebody like Bill Jennings, is really fairly simple in his chording, and he recorded a lot with the organist Jack McDuff and saxophonist Willis Jackson. He had some albums under his own name. He's a good starting place for that style of melodic guitar playing, and the chords that he plays when he plays chords are simple enough, it's easy to follow, and I think it's just repeated listening is where you get the feel for these sounds, be able to identify them and apply them to your playing.
Would this stuff be make up stuff from the 60s?
Yeah. And recently, I think Bill Jennings' long unreleased albums, I think it's called Glide On, has been re-released, and I think they have two albums now on one CD, but it's his prestige recordings from I don't know if it's the 60s or the late 50s or early 60s. Mm-hmm. And the beautiful thing now is all this stuff has been reissued. Most of it has, and if you look, you can really find all of these examples what I'm talking about, and really get a chance to absorb the sound. Because if you don't hear the sound in your head, somebody can teach you how to play it, but you've got to. The sound is to be second nature to you in your head.
Right.
I spent more time listening to records than I did practicing to just really absorb, what the sounds are all about.
All of the examples that you just played, I noticed between any of the changes you made, the voice leading was very small movements.
Yes.
For the most part. Is that like a key element to all this?
It is to me. That's always been the greatest sound. Is very minimal movement, and part of it is like big band type reed section chords in blues, where there'd be just a little bit of movement, and also in just comping. It's a good sound. I find it really intriguing to just have very small, not big jumps of movement within the chords. That's just the root down major 7 to the 7th, and then when you go to the 4 chord, see, you just follow the line with your D string and then to a minor. So I just went. Let me do it again. I blew that. Don't put that on. So I went with this one line. Completely chromatic all the way down, leading to the 4 chord. I used every note from the root to the 3rd of the 4 chord down there. So it's been the most attractive sound to me is closed voice chords. I don't know, it really seems meaningful in sound terms to me,
It's beautiful.
Some of them, yeah, depending on this one that my first one that I covered some of this type of stuff. I haven't done one yet with exclusively this type of thing, but I think I may, maybe for my next one.
What are the names of the videos and who are they distributed by?
The first video I did, which has a real lot of information on it about swing style and many different aspects of blues, is called Uptown, I think it's called Uptown Blues Guitar, or Uptown Blues and Jazz Guitar. It's for the Hot Licks company. And then I did 2 for Starlights that are on specific artist styles. One, the style of T-Bone Walker, which I've kind of become known for playing that style. And the other one is the early style of Freddie King, which includes a lot of his early instrumentals, and which are really good things to learn blues guitar from. To start there, because they're simple, but they just sound amazing, and they're forever going to be chestnuts. Things that are considered great guitar playing.
You're talking about Hideaway and the Stumble.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Do you use a lot of that in your own playing?
Yeah, I use a lot that I've learned from those things. Yeah, absolutely.
You mean everything to me.
Maybe a slow blues I'll use as an example. Something that I might use some of Freddie's phrasing. Freddie King's slow blues style is based on B.B. King's style, but there's certain particular things that he did that made it his own and his own sounds. And on his early records, that's the stuff that I'm mostly influenced by.